Hi, everybody. Okay, here we go. Tonight I am going to be doing a knotted bracelet with everybody. And unfortunately, I don't know why, but I could not get my camera to lock into my computer. I might have to have Amy help me with that. So if I'm, let me try something really quick. Please don't anybody get sick. Sorry. I'm going to try turning this around for a moment and see if that's better. Yes, that's where I want it to be. Okay. So we are going to do a knotted bracelet with some of these beautiful Cape amethysts, including the center stone. So we were on the Claim It Live sale this morning, and some pearls and some one of the lawns, S lawn, C lawn, B lawn, one of them were on sale. They had a bunch of colors on there, and we started to chat, and somebody mentioned that they would be great for a knotting project, and so there were a couple people who hadn't done a knotted project, including Molly. And so I said that I would do it, and I meant to do it this morning, but forgot about an appointment that I had. And then I didn't want to go live around school letting out and all of that kind of time. So I waited until later in the evening. It is my first time, but let me go ahead and start out by saying hello to everybody. Liv, you were here first. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate the support. Barbara's here. Amy, thank you for being here. I really, really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. Brandy, thanks, girl. I appreciate it. Chris and Gina, Liv, Tammy, Georgina. Look at everybody that's here. Kathy, Barb, Donna, Diane. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry, guys. It's not intentional, I promise. Now, the original bracelet, I used dark purple knotting, but then I found this, and it's gonna read as black, but it's a dark steely gray, and I think it will look gorgeous up against these the spacers that I'm using. And I'm going to go over a little bit of pricing with everything, because I am going to be using sterling silver findings that I got from Hobby Lobby. And so I just wanted to show you how it could be done, and you still have money to make profit off of something. So I'm starting with my gorgeous Cape amethyst stone. These were on a strand that my hubby got me for Christmas, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I just love them. And then I have these twisted barrel Cape amethyst, or chevron amethyst when they get the little V. I have these twisted barrels, which I love. And then I thought I might mix it up a little bit next to the focal, so that I have enough of these to do a pair of earrings, which would be fabulous to go with one of the bracelets. And then I have these itty bitty sterling silver, and of course it falls right there, sterling silver spacers that I got, and they're pure sterling silver. So these little things are 15 cents a piece, but it's all right. And then I have some sterling silver, come on camera, I'm going to move everything in a second. Sterling silver cord ends, knot ends. And then I'm going to do a stacked, even more stacked than this one is. I'm going to do a stacked bead cap on either side of the focal to kind of mix it up a little bit. But let me tell you how I got started. I was a little afraid that it wasn't going to work out nice on the live. So I went ahead and did this part off camera for the one I'm going to be using. But I'm going to show you what I typically do whenever I use cording. Let me see if I can figure out. I forgot to ask Amy how to do this. Okay. Nope, other way around. I don't know how to flip it between one cam. There we go. Okay. So I just take the cording, and this is nylon cording. And so what I do is I just take a lighter and I run it right under, right around, and then I twist in the direction that it's twisted. And because it's nylon cord, it will get stiff. And then I go to the very end and I burn the end like that. And then I twist it out. And you'll see that it kind of went out to like a needle point. And so then I tend to clip that to where it will look good and go through things easily. I'm going to try to keep things off the area where I'm working, just so we don't have too many focusing issues. So hi Karen and Sydney, Kim, you guys are the best. Sandy, I'm so glad everybody's here. That I can't tell you how much that means to me. Anyways, so I did a triple knot and glued it into my cord end, and I will show you how to do that at the end. So to start, I always do another knot right on the outside, and then I take my knotting tweezers and I take them right down to where I want the knot to sit if I don't let it come undone. And I just pull it down. And of course, it's my first live, so it's not going to go smooth. Okay, there we go. And then once I have the knot where I want it, I just take those and push the knot down to where it goes. So we're just going to string up. And you'll see I didn't use any glue, but it's going through this bead very easily without problems. So we're going to start with one of those, and we're just going to knot again. If I was not using the spacers today, I would be double knotting this. I saw Randy from Thunder Horse Descendants do that, and I really like the look of it. But because I am going to use the spacers, I decided not to do that. So then we're just going to go right down to the knot. We're going to pull it, strand it down, and then we're going to grab one of our little itty bitty spacers that are barely bigger than the knot itself, but I think that the knot on either side will really help the silver spacers to pop. So get my tweezers right there, right where I want it. I pull my knot down. And there we go. And then we're going to grab the next one. And this is the same knotting technique that Randy uses. We both learned it from the same person, which is Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutiques. Sorry, I have to get a drink. And she's up in Canada, and she has a wonderful channel, especially if you like to work with leather. She does, that's outside of macrame. She's where I learned to put those knots to use again when making jewelry. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not covering this up. Oh, there's a bundle special. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness, of course there is. I hope there's one left when I'm done on here. Babe, if you're watching and want to go to Bargain Bead Box and order it for me, I would be very, very happy because I always miss them. Anyway, so we're going to pull that down, pull the tweezers out, pull it tight. So I was really nervous for this live and trying to set up, and the camera set up beautifully this morning, had it ready to go, came in tonight, and for some reason my laptop was just not seeing that my camera was plugged into it. So I'm having to use my phone, and the only reason that it doesn't always focus as well, and I have to use it on something that attaches to the table. And so I just don't like bumping it. Okay, I'm going to switch it up a little bit for the center this time because, like I said, I wanted to have enough to make a pair of earrings to possibly go with this. And I have a really cool way that I do chain extenders, and I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. So just in case it's given me, it's not quite long enough, we'll do it. Okay, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to put one of these faceted Cape amethysts. I'm going to put that one on. I'm going to do a knot. Pull it down, seat the knot in place. And then this is where I'm going to do the stacked. And I want to show you guys a little trick that I do when I'm doing my stacked, I put them over here. When I'm doing my stacked bead caps. I don't always, sorry guys, I don't always like the way that when they don't hug the stone, especially one like this. And that's what was happening with the largest bead cap that I'm going to use. So all I did was take it and I took my little Zuron pliers and just ever so slightly, I bent each one of these down. And I just went around the entire bead cap. And you want to use like something that's really close, sorry. And small so that you're just doing one at a time. And I just went around and slightly bent them all down. And I'll show you how it looks. So to stack this bead cap, I actually have daisy spacers. I'm going to use one of the little silver spacers that we used, and then another bead cap. And I'll show you, it ends up looking really cool. So I'm going to put that on. Sorry. And then I put the daisy spacer on, and those are all sterling silver as well. And then I'm going to put the largest bead cap on. And then my center stone. And I'm going to show you how cool that looks. See how it's just kind of stacked? And it adds a little bit more visual interest. And you'll see that the bead cap points aren't sticking out, which is why I did what I did. So, and then we're just going to do that backwards on the other side, starting with the largest bead cap. And then the next one down. And I love to use these little filigree bead caps. but sometimes they're just not substantial enough for me. And so I saw Sarah Lovecraft do this technique, and I've also seen Amy do it, and I really like the way that it looks. Okay, then we're going to get our sterling silver, and then we're going to get our knot in here. Get your tweezers in place. Don't let your knot come undone while you're doing so. I have never had this much problem with my thread. And then seat the knot in place. And you'll see it just makes the center of it more of a special moment. So, and then we just go back to you. Oh, no, we don't go back to the barrels. I forgot. I got to put one of these on. Do another knot. And then one of our little silver spacers. And another knot. Oh, thank you guys. I'm glad you like it. And I don't know if anybody else has seen yet, but Brandy, Brandy Michelle of our community on her page, she did a beautiful double stand bracelet tutorial today that she released that I really liked. We must have been on the same brainwave because hers is also purple, but has a very unique look all of its own. And I really recommend that you guys go and check that out. If you're in the market for tools, Amy released a just a little review of a set of tools that were sent to her. And they were very reasonably priced for quite a lot of tools. Oh, Heather, don't do that. Sorry, that went down. That went down the wrong windpipe. I'm okay, Ramsey. My little blind dog is the only one that's in here. And she's up on my leg because she's worried that I'm okay, baby. Lay down. Good girl. But yeah, she's the one that's the most sensitive to my her and Quinn, my little red girl. It's kind of crazy. Jasper's mama. She spins around the same way he does, but she'll go 2 or 3 times in a row, and she's just a little crazy, but she's adorable and she's a lot of fun. So, oh, that's what you did wrong. Yeah, you want to make sure that you go inside the knot before, because otherwise you'll get a knot someplace you don't want to. And you have no other choice but to start over if you can't get it undone. Okay, this is the last knot for our bracelet. And then I'm going to put my other clamshell on. And again, I'm going to do a triple knot. So I just go through this 3 times. and you use the exact same technique to get it in where you want by just putting your tweezers down where you want it. You pull the knot down, and then you get it in there you get it in there really good like that, a nice thick knot. And then I'm going to trim it off with just a little bit left. Well, that is not what I wanted it to do. So if that happens to you, you can just zip up that, or you can use your thread burner to do the same thing. And then I am going to go in with my GS Hypo. Sorry, I have too much stuff on the screen again. I'm going to go in with my GS Hypo, and I'm just going to get a dot of glue down on that. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I am allergic to adhesive. But glue like this normally isn't, there we go. Because it's the rubbery, it doesn't bother me the same way. So like it's much like the, they can only use Tagaderm, which is the tape that they use for IVs and stuff. But there we go. There's our bracelet. We're going to come in here, and I got these lobster clasps. They are also sterling silver from Hobby Lobby. I didn't like the jump ring that was on there, so I had some that I had made up from some leftover 18 gauge sterling silver wire that I had. And I'll give you a tip, guys. Literally, if you are if you're ever using sterling silver wire and you make a mistake and you're not sure what to do, you have wire, you can't really do anything, I go ahead and I go through and I try to make as many jump rings as I can out of the wire. And then I stash the silver in a little container because there's a young man who goes to Bernie's Beads, and his dad bought him a silversmithing like set of lessons. And so I'm taking them all. I'm saving all my little scraps for him so that he'll have them, because, you know, sterling silver isn't cheap. So I'm going to go ahead, and this one I'm going to just attach through the oh, oops, I forget. I'm being watched today. I probably should do this correctly. Oh, sometimes I get ahead of myself, and I'm not doing this the proper way. So we'll go ahead and open this the right way and put it down through. There we go. Through. Close that up really good. And then for the other side, because I am going to go ahead and do an extender, I'm going to show you guys how I make these little links. And one side of it is a simple loop. And so I can just open it and put it through. And then the other side is a wrapped loop. So because that's where they're going to be clasping, and because it's this gets tucked down inside of there, this is, I feel, a lot sturdier than a typical clasp. Plus, if you did, even if you didn't need an extender, the one side is big enough to use it as the clasp alone. And because I made it out of sterling silver wire, it's still part of the clasp. And I'm going to bring in my little bracelet sizer, and we're just about at 6 inches. So just in case I want to add any length, I do have, I have a few more that I made earlier that are right here, but I want to teach you how to do it quickly if here it is, my 18 gauge wire. My ruler. So it takes me an 1.5 inches. I'll have a little bit of waste, but I want to make sure that I have enough. Where did you put your double flush cutters? There they are. So I cut it at 1.5 inches. And then let me move these so that you guys can see well. Actually, I'm going to cut a second one just in case you guys want to see it again. It's easier than pulling the ruler back out. Okay, so then I take my 6-step bail making pliers. Hello, little hand. Thank you. And I'm going to start by doing the top loop on the smallest mandrel there is. And then I'm going to flip the pliers over, and I'm going to position the loop facing away from me. And I'm trying to see where I typically do these with my black Xuron pliers, and I don't see them here, so I'm going to have to do it with the Xuron ones. Anyways, so I take this, and I have it positioned there, and then I'm just going to push up and around and over, and then I'm going to wrap this around once, and then I'm going to pull it. I probably should have done it. I think I might have done them at a 20 gauge, not 18 gauge, because normally I have 2 wraps, but they're still a good full wrap all the way around. I'm pretty sure I must have done it with the 20 gauge. So that's why this was a little stiff. But then I'm going to show you another little hack. Some people, hi, Linda. Some people might see it as lazy. I think it's kind of ingenious. But you see how you have this area right here on your stick set plier. If you don't want to pull out your bench block and your hammer, if you just put the loop inside there and squeeze, you'll see it flattens it a little bit. And I do the same thing on the other side. And on the second part, I generally push down twice, just to get it nice and strong and sturdy. And then there's no need to pull out your bench block and hammer if you just use the area right here at the bottom of your at the base of your pliers. So that's just a little tip. I like to try to minimize having to do things like multiple steps. So if I can figure out a little way to save a little bit of time, then I do it. And I tried that one day and it worked beautifully. And so it's just something I do. I do it when I'm doing like very simple like if it's something quick and easy, a one-off like this, then I do these. And then squeeze that down inside so that it sticks. And then you have, you'll have two little figure eights that they can then, you could add a dangle on it if you wanted. It's just a really simple, clean, and quite frankly, an inexpensive way to do a sterling silver chain extender without it just being jump rings and it making a little bit stronger there. So there's the finished bracelet, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and switch back. So that's my first project and my first live on YouTube. I really appreciate that you guys all came out. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them really quick. And if I can do so, if I can answer, I will see them. So, but I like it. Thanks, Cindy. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. I was really, really stressed out because I couldn't get my camera set up the way I wanted to for you guys. But I really like my new light. You can see my bead mat very, very well, which is great. I'm excited about that. So it's just, I don't know. It's just an easy little, it's very fluid. I love knotting. As you can see, it doesn't take very much time. I was able to put this together in an hour, and that included showing you these little links. Linda has a link very similar to this, to the one that I use for the extender. Oh, let's see if I can get out of the camera. I just wrap around. I can't figure out where it's. I just wrap around it twice. She has one where she just does like one, and it's great. So thank you guys. I'm glad you guys all like it. I did have an appointment today. That's why I was late. Thank you. Everything is going good. We have the device turned on. I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm trying to do what my son calls pace, which is where I just try to keep up with the same amount of physical activity as I did the day before. So even if I'm a little stiff or I'm a little, oops, sorry, I don't know why that just popped up. Oh, I see why, because it thinks I'm trying to cancel. Sorry. So like if we went to a store and walked around, I try to do that, not necessarily at a store, but I try to do that, and I'm trying to keep up with that every day. He said that it's better than like doing stuff, and if you're sore, then you rest a full day. He said you just got to keep going. So that's what I'm trying to do. But yeah, Kim, I used for the extender, I used sterling silver wire. So you can do it in 18 or 20 gauge. I typically do them in 20 gauge. But and I have done those little links. I have done them teeny tiny. Like I have a set of round nose pliers that are teeny tiny. They are so small. They are beadsmith, and I will use the very end of this for the small one. And then I use the the first step on the 6-step plier. And I have a necklace that has little rose gold crosses. And my sister-in-law asked me if I could make her, I made her one that just had one on it. And she said, it bothers me that when my necklace turns around, all of a sudden you can't see the cross anymore. Is there any way that you could put more of them on so even if it spins, it's okay? She's like, I want to wear it all the time. And so I did so. I use some sterling silver chain that I get that I really, really like. Let me see if I can pull it out of my sterling silver box without sending everything. It's very, very dainty wire. I believe it's called Shanghai chain. It's like a really small, pretty twist to it. So I love this. And so I just used an inch, I put one on. I used an inch, I put one on. And I liked it so much that I decided I wanted to do one in rose gold, but I couldn't find the chain in rose gold and I was all bummed out. And so I just went ahead and I got some rose gold filled wire and I just made teeny tiny links all the way around and just connected my crosses that way and put it in. And it turned out really pretty. I love it. I'll have to share a picture later, but I was really happy with it. And I was very excited to be able to do it. But I wanted to show this, you guys, because I wanted to show you if you want to bump up your jewelry and you want to take it to the next game, just go ahead and go to Hobby Lobby on the half off week and go, and they have sterling silver wire. They have like the 20 gauge. There is I think 39 inches on the little spool, which is not a bad per inch price when you go on the half off. It's a little bit more expensive than if you were to buy a troy ounce or something like that and get more wire. It's obviously going to be more expensive. It's sterling silver, but the more you buy, the cheaper per inch that it is. And so, but if you're just starting out, it's relatively inexpensive. It is, I believe, $10.50 for a package that has 39 inches in it. And so when I do my teeny tiny ones, I don't even use an inch. It might be an inch, but I try to make it a little bit under so I can spread the way that it turns out. And then you just figure out the price per inch. So for this sterling silver lobster claw, it was, let me see, I believe it was $2.75. It was in a package of 2. And it came with a jump ring, which I just put inside of my sterling silver jump ring box. And I'll use that later on. I just wanted something sturdier. I like something sturdier at the clasp. Because I just want it to be more secure and for it to stay there. And then these little guys, they're cute and adorable. They ended up being 15 cents a piece. And then for the entire stacked bead cap look that I did, it ended up being 35 cents on each side. So because I didn't use links and I didn't use sterling silver to do like links to connect all of the beads together, it ends up being very inexpensive. So for all of the for the entire bracelet, and this includes my focal, which comes out to $22.75. And then these little guys are 54 cents a piece. But when I went and added everything up, the entire supply list came out to $22. A little bit right around there. It was $22.50. And then my hourly rate, which I do $30 for something like this, I'll go down a little bit, but you saw it barely took half an hour for me to put it together. So that's not bad. So, oh, I should say the supply list, that's when I've multiplied it by 2.5. I'm sorry. The supply list before was less expensive. When I multiplied it by 2.5, that's when it came out to $22.50. So I apologize for that. And then I added on my hourly rate, and it's a little over $35 total for everything, you guys. And I think that that is a very nice price. Obviously, if you're going to put it on Etsy, and you're going to have to pay to list it, or however you take your payment, If there's a fee for that as well, you want to factor that into your price. But I don't think that $35 for this beautiful Cape Amethyst bracelet is asking too much. If you were to go down to silver plated items, the supply list, I don't have anything quite this tiny and delicate, but I had some similar ones. And when I went down to silver plated, it dropped the total supply list at 2.5 times 2.5, came out to $17. And so then, dependent upon what your hourly rate is, if you charge $30, it would be 15 because it takes 30 minutes to do it. And you've got a beautiful bracelet that you can sell for $25, $30 very inexpensively. And I think that it's worth it. I think that it's beautiful. I hope you guys all like it. Georgina, you can order Hobby Lobby online. So even if there's not one there, and in fact, they have even a wider selection online than they do at the stores. Although I have one that's close to my house. That's what's known as a flagship store, which is like huge. It's like a regular Hobby Lobby, and then you come to what you think is the back wall, and there's a ramp, and you go down, and there's a whole other like big opening that's probably the size of like a smaller town Joann's. So it's huge. But even they don't have the as all of the same things that they have online. But here, let me try to make this one a little bit bigger for a second. Nope, other way. I'm gonna have to have Amy show me how to flip that when you're doing it. It's all right. I'll do it a little bit higher. But they have several like earring options. Even these ones, even though they have the little bead on it, there's not the wire wrapping around. So they're elevated a little bit, and they're regularly $8. But if you get them on a half off deal, then they're $4, and you get 3 pair for $4, which isn't bad. They have these ear wires as well that are sterling. Oh, these are sterling silver plated, but even that, I got them for $1.12 on discount. They have 4mm beads, which there's 12 pieces. Half off, that's $5. You're going to get it a little bit. They're a little bit more expensive. I typically go to Bernie's Beads, but they do have sterling silver crimps, and I have used the magical crimper with these, and they work. They have a thick enough wall that they will work. They have I don't know if you guys have seen the threads, the ear threads, where the straight part goes through your ear and then the chain does as well. And you can just dangle something on a little thing. But I was excited because for those of you who maybe don't want to have me go shopping for you at Bernie's Beads, they also have these, and I'm going to take them out of the package really quick, you guys, and show you, because I love these. And I think the ones I get from Bernie's Beads might be slightly smaller, but I could be wrong. But if you look, they are teeny, 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 tiny. And what I like to use these for are charm bracelets. And so you hang the charm from the jump ring, and then you put this on wherever you want it on a charm bracelet. And then the good thing is that you can swap these out depending upon if like you were doing if you were wanting to do a Christmas bracelet and you wanted some Christmas charms on it, you could do that. And then when you move into spring, you want to put some other things on it, you can adjust it by the season. It's also really good if you're trying to make a really nice charm bracelet for your granddaughter or your child, and you know that they swap out what they like every other day. They will be into Hello Kitty one day, and then they're into Stitch, and then they're not into either of those. And so they're into sports, whatever. So it's relatively easy. You might have to swap out the jump ring every now and again, but it's a great way to have a charm bracelet that can carry you through whatever season you're in. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys all for coming. I really appreciate you guys all logging on, even though it was shorter. It was shorter notice. Thank you, Linda, for inspiring the little bit variation of a link that I learned from you on your channel. If you guys want chain links, go watch her. She has some of the most amazing things. She has told me that she has I need to go and try to find her oxidation tutorial, because that's the one I really want to watch, because as I've told you guys on previous lives, that's kind of my goal. My jewelry goal for 2025 is to learn how to oxidize copper and sterling silver. So I feel better watching her do it, just because I'm comfortable with her. She's been my teacher for several months now, and I really I love her videos, so it would be good. But I appreciate you all turning out. I'm glad you liked it, and I'll be back with more. Have a good night, everybody.